Hello, everyone. Welcome to this perfect conference, Teams Nation. And yeah, we have this privilege to share some insights with you today. Our session is kind of interesting, 404 in Microsoft Teams, when communication everywhere means nowhere. We hope that you will like it. But before we start, let us introduce ourselves. Laurent, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Edita. So my name is Laurent Carlier. I'm a Microsoft 365 consultant from France with dual expertise on change management and IT governance, and those two are definitely related, and we will talk about this on this session. I'm also an MVP as many speakers, I think, in this conference, and I'm extremely happy to do the session with Edita.
Thank you. Thank you. Great introduction. Okay, guys, my name is Edyta Gojo and I'm Polish, currently based in Germany. I believe that my profile is quite similar like Laurel's profile, same with pro-side topics, MVP stuff, and so on. I say about myself that I'm crazy about this community. I love sharing my knowledge, talking with people, and just building the relationships. Since many years, I organize SharePoint Saturday Warsaw. Maybe some of you had a chance to visit Warsaw in the past. And also together with my friends from ACM Teams Europe user group, we have a kind of bi-monthly meetings where we talk about adoption and change management. And thanks to this perfect meetings, I had a chance to meet Laurent.
Yeah.
Interesting fact that we had similar insights around adoption, governance, and so on. Therefore, we decided to build up session together to share our insights together and provide some value, hopefully, which might be beneficial. All right, so let's move to the concrete stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so we would like to start with a simple fact. What we notice in many companies is that they do not consider teams globally, and they do not understand all the possibilities in terms of communication and collaboration. So we often hear, I want Teams to chat, or I want Teams for online meeting, or I want Teams for telephony, because someone told me that, well, you can do telephony in Teams. But the truth is that Teams is better than that. And what we can show you right now is just the what. And Teams, above all, is about the people, is about the Office application, is about the content, the authoring, is about many things. And if you do not understand this, that might be a problem. And as you can see in this slide, chat callers, meetings, bots, connectors, app, content, office, people, etc. And you can see all these icons from service, from native service inside Teams. And our point is that if you do not understand the first meaning of Teams as a central hub for communication and collaboration, then maybe you might have a problem later in terms of adoption.
Yeah, this is the true, Laurent. I fully agree. But I always look on the bright side of this side, and I hope that maybe when they start with chat, it's a planting the seed for the future collaboration. But yeah, fully agree that yeah, those whats are also very known from my side. When we talk about teams, collaboration, and everything what is related with this environment, this is what I observe. In many organizations, that current position is that, okay, we roll out Teams, we're using Teams, a lot of features are enabled, but at the end, we feel lost. Where are my files? One of the top questions. Did I share them in chat or in team or in a specific channel or maybe somewhere else? How should I communicate? Channel or chat, or how to choose which path is the best one, or where I can find another top question. So yeah, Edita, do you know where I can find and blah, blah, blah. So those things are kind of painful currently for business users because they have powerful platform, but at the end, they are not sure how to use it correctly. However, We also need to remember that communication, as this picture says, communication everywhere. Communication everywhere from our point of view means nowhere. It's great that we have communication. However, we need to understand that communication drives people. People drive business. And at the end, business, if it's successful, then business benefits. So everything starts with communication. From my perspective, it's super important, since we have so many options to communicate online, to set up kind of rules of communication game. It's extremely important to define, if we want to have, let's say, intranet, Teams, and Yammer, what's the purpose of all of those platforms, or if we really need them all. Maybe sometimes too many places means that less productivity, less awareness of the information. Yeah, what kind of content where should be placed? Who is responsible for this content? Do we have communication people on board, or maybe marketing or HR is responsible for spreading some global information? All of those things should be taken under consideration. So before you start building something, please think about the rules of your game. Please observe your users, your organization, and select the best communication path. So this is like a basic, that communication is great. However, we should take control where and what we are doing while using all of the tools.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this is very important to just set up proper direction. Um, if you do not set up proper direction, the fact is that Yammer was there before Teams, and then now there is Teams, and many people do not understand, okay, what kind of communication can I put in Yammer, and what kind of communication can I put in Teams? And
indeed.
the interesting thing is that sometimes people will talk about a specific thematic, but the answer was inside the team, and she put the question, or he put the question, in Yammer community. So that this is very confusing for people. So set up really direction about this, because if not, the end user will not understand why Yammer, why Teams, why intranet. And you can set up this very simply, uh, depending on the media you're using, the cold media, the hot media, the collaborative ways, etc., etc. So you have to discuss about this before going deeply into Teams. And the fact is that the pandemic came, and then many people rushed in Teams, and now they just have the question about what communication, where is the communication. And that's why the thing that we want to show you is a very basic decision tree about when to create a group conversation versus a channel. And let's start with the first question.
Mm-hmm. So there was a question in the chat, by the way. Do we have some samples? Actually, we have samples with these decisions when we talk mostly about Teams, because this session is for Teams. But yeah, Michał, we will be more than happy to provide even more after the session.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when to
So
create a... Mhm.
yeah, so the
Go
first
ahead.
question will be, do you have, if you have to decide between a group conversation versus a channel, the first question will be, do you have many topics to discuss? And then if it yes, the second question will be, is these people belonging to the same team? Then yes. Then the next question will be, do you want to focus on private collaboration with certain people of this team for one topic? And if if their answer is yes, then the solution will be, oh, you can create a private channel, but be aware of what you're doing. When I'm saying this is that I saw too many teams with general channel and 30 private channel. This is no sense, really no sense. Functionally, it is no sense, and technically, it is no sense, because you have a separate SharePoint for this, so it can be a very mess with private channel. But it can be an answer if you're looking for this. So if we go back on the
Yeah, sure. When we talk about the private channel, by the way,
yeah
I always aware my customers that please remember that when you create private channel once or standard channel once, there is no way back. So we have to really think twice. What are we doing at the beginning?
yeah.
Okay, but what if
And yeah,
no?
if we do not want to focus on private collaboration with certain people for one topic, then yeah, we can create a standard channel with a proper name given for a topic. This is important, the name of the channel. And we will talk about this later, but just think about the name of the channel. It has to be very simple and clear for everyone. So going back to the top question, is these people belonging to the same team? And if it is no, and the next question will be, do you want to collaborate on one topic with colleague from another team without adding them to your team? And if the answer is yes, then the solution will be create a share channel. And I know many people are waiting for this function. I know it's coming at the end of this month, but shared channel is very good. I think it will answer to that question. If I want to just put people inside my team without adding them to my team and discuss on a specific subject, then shared channel will be a solution, definitely. And if it's no, if I do not want to collaborate with a colleague from another team, then you can create a standard channel.
All right. And
And
what
if we go
if,
back on the top, yeah,
right?
we have many topics to discuss. We saw the yes, and now we will talk about the no. Is this topic for short collaboration? And if the answer is yes, then you can create a group chat for this. And if the answer is no, the next question will be, do you want to collaborate in a long term by using files and tabs? And then to answer, if it is no, then you can create a group chat. And if it's yes, the next question will be, is these people belonging to the same team? So yes, no. And if it's yes, you can create a channel on this topic into the teams. And if it is no, you can think about creating a team with a channel on these topics. But before doing this, just look if this teams is already exist. That's the point.
It seems to be so easy, right? So group conversation versus channel, but we can see so many options here. And yeah,
Yep.
this is one of those basic rules you should share with business people, with the end
Yeah,
users, that they should be
definitely.
aware what to do to not let explode our team's
Yeah,
environment
yeah.
very quickly. All right, but there is also a question, Laurent, what type of team should I create? This is
Yeah,
always the struggle.
yeah, exactly. We saw the micro with group conversation versus channels, and now we will see the macro about teams. And the first question will be, do you want a team visible to the whole organization? And if it's yes, the next question will be, do you want a global team where every user will be automatically added? And if it's yes, then you can create an org-wide teams. But be aware of this, the org-wide teams is limited to 5, I think, by tenant. So if you are a big companies with many sub-companies, really think about this. And if it's no, I do not want a global team where every user will be automatically added, and you can create a public team. And if we go back on the top, do you want a team visible to the whole organization? No. And the next question will be, are you in education tenant? And this is important because business tenant are very different from education tenant. So we will go with education tenant first. If it's yes, then there are many questions. Do you want a team with teachers and students? And then the answer will be create a class team. This is very important because in business teams, you do not have any choice when you create a team. But in education tenant, you have many choice for this. So you have to be aware of this. Do you want a team for teachers? And the answer will be create a PLC team. And do you want a team shared by school leaders and teachers? then the answer will be create a staff teams. If it's not an education tenant, if it's no, do you want a team with permission base? And then two answer. If it's yes, then you can create a private team. And if it's no, then you can create a public team.
Excellent. How does it work with this education tenants? Laurent, you are an expert with education topics.
Yeah, this is education tenant is more difficult. I don't know about difficult, but it's more complex, and you have to put really strict direction about creating a team, because if not, you cannot change. For example, if you create a class teams and you said, "Oh no, it was not a class team. I wanted to create a PLC teams." There's no way back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have really to understand this fact.
Okay. And yeah, something else which is related with the communication to make it smoothly. Uh, I would say it sounds funny, reactions, but at the end, reactions are extremely important, right?
Yep, exactly. So basically, what I saw in my previous company and present company and in my client's tenant is that no one knows the real meaning of this reaction. Is there a specific meaning to this reaction? The answer is no. You have to create your own rules for this reaction. And that's why we wanted to share to you that really simple graphic. And the like is not like, actually. It's just, okay, I understand, or yeah, I confirm. This is important because if you do not have this kind of direction, the people will use the, this
Thumb up.
reaction for, okay, I like it, but no, it's not I like it, For example, in a group conversation, if there is a question is like, will you attend to this meeting? And then the people will say, okay, with a reaction. That is a good example. But the bad example, will you attend this meeting? And the people will answer just below, okay, I will attend this meeting. But there's no sense for this. So that's why you have to really understand the reaction. So the first, yeah, I read, and the hurt is that is great. This is useful, and the love is yeah, haha, and
Yeah, depending how
the
we
last
name
one.
them.
Yeah, actually, the last one, yeah, there is a problem. I can believe it's not fixed. This is an example. I will not tell you that you have to follow this. It's really up to you. It's really up to your organization. But I think this is a good example to inspire you. And the last
Mhm.
one, yeah, the last one, the anger reaction, yeah, do not use it. Or if you have to use it, you have to use it at a last resort.
Right. I remember in a previous company when I worked, the thumb up was mostly about that I read something. So I don't confirm, I simply saw what you wrote, and then I will take care of this case later on. But I fully agree that if we have those reactions, why not to make a kind of agenda, kind of instructions,
Yeah,
what they actually mean. Every organization is different, and we can benefit from them. Yeah, there was a good comment, a comment in the chat that yeah, what
yeah.
if 800 plus reactions should come? Yeah, good question. If you have any good ideas how to make it, let us know. All right, let's move forward. So when we talk about communication, we have to mention two important topics: notifications, feed, and mentions. I'm sure that many of you already know how to use them and so on. However, since we talk about communication, this has to be presented. First of all, this is what I observe quite often, that users, they come and they say, it's great to have activity feed, but the problem starts when I was on sick leave or on vacation and my activity feed is simply exploding. So it's even worse than hundreds of emails in my mailbox in the past. How actually can I manage those activities? I wanted to highlight that, first of all, in activity feed, you can filter the activities you are getting. Here you have just the summary of everything what happened. You can filter them by unread, chat, meetings, muted, whatever. But also, if I take, for instance, Anne-Reed and let's say Nestor, Laurent, you are Nestor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can check, for instance, if there is something coming from Nestor, any reply, any unread message from him, because he's simply my manager. This is something what I really recommend. So every time when you have activity feed exploding, then try to simply filter those. Yeah, I took check. I don't know. Mentions and Nestor. Sorry, there is no Nestor, but we can also check the Nestor himself. And the other topic, activity, so obviously settings. I'm sure that you are aware of those settings, but it really makes sense to check inside settings notification part. Here we have, first of all, what I'm saying quite often, email notifications. We as organization, we decide to give up with internal emails. So why we're getting emails from Teams. That's why you can adjust these settings. In my working environment, I always took off. Obviously, it depends on you. However, please remember but that by default, those emails are switched on. We also have appearance and sound, so you can adjust those things depending of your needs. But I want to put your attention on Teams and channel settings. Obviously, all activity can be switched on, mentions and replies. But this is what I recommend. So mostly custom topics. If personal mentions, what kind of notification I wish to get, or banner and feed, or only feed, team mentions, and so on. So those things are quite useful to be clarified by yourself. And this section is also interesting, shown and pinned channels. So all the channels which are shown and pinned, you can adjust also the notifications you want to get from this specific area. So for some reason you pinned the channel, so maybe you want to get extra notification about it, what's happening inside. Same we can do with chats, meetings, calls, people. For instance, you want to track if somebody is online, you can adjust this thingy. So yeah, this is the place where we simply should check what are our settings. And
Yeah,
when we go,
this is important for notification setting, because if you do not set any things, that you will receive many notification from Teams, and really I do not want to receive that amount of notifications. So if you want to have a proper way to control your notification, the first thing that you have to do is to go to your settings into Teams and set your proper notification. Why I'm saying this is that many clients ask me, can we set up the notification globally in a Teams admin center? And the answer is no. How come? Everyone has, his own way to set up notification. So you have to be responsible for your notification. That's why it's important to know.
yeah, it's like with your mobile phone, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You are responsible what is muted and what is not muted, what kind of notifications you are getting. And yeah, similar when we go to Teams and let's say that we're in Team Mark 8 project team, you can also adjust the channel notifications. So
Yeah.
again, another place where you can check what's cooking inside. All right, so we mentioned about activity feed, we mentioned about notifications. Another topic, yeah, we are talking a bit about the email. So in this specific channel, I can see that you, Laurent, aka Nestor, you shared an email. So also please remember that we have a chance to send the emails to the channel and collaborate together. Under this email, also the attachments, they land in the files section, so there is no need to send the email to different people back and forth, back and forth. We can simply collaborate directly from Teams. All right, but yeah, I can reply this message, and obviously what I can is I can mention Nestor. because he is in my team. I can mention another person, another person, another person, but we all know that it takes a lot of time. On the other hand, obviously, I can mention the entire team, Mark 8 project, or go to market plan channel or design channel and so on. But still, there is a gap between between mentioning one person and the entire team. When we talk about the communication, what brings a lot of benefits, and I like very much, those are the tags. Uh, this is not something new in Teams. I believe that many of you already know about the tag. So how to set up the tag? We go to Manage Team. First of all, let me check how many people I have in my team. Okay, I have almost 20 people in my team. So that's a lot. So yeah, when I mention the team name, all of those people, they will get notification and their activity feed will be reached with one more notification. I'm not sure if I want to bother my colleagues. Therefore, I can simply create a specific tag, create a tag, Teams Nation, ah, Unity Rocks, obviously, and Teams Nation rocks, and add people. Let's say Nestor, let's say Deborah, let's say Alex. Create, and tag is right now created. When I go back to my team, let's say go to market plan and hit the message from you, hello Nestor. Now I can provide Teams Nation. Send. And only 3 people from this tag will get the notification. So again, very useful way to yeah, to slim up a little bit the number of notifications, but also to send the precise communication to the people who really have to be communicated. Okay, let's move on. Constant education and improvements. So yeah, you saw a few tips from Teams environment. From my perspective, this is what is super important is a constant education and improvements in your current environment. Constant education meaning that yeah, people joining our company, people leaving our company, we have onboarding processes, but quite often those onboarding processes, they don't consist proper education about the tools we are using. Plus, on the top, we know that Microsoft platform, Teams platform is developing all the time, like Laurent mentioned about shared channels. So it means that we need to educate our colleagues all the time what's happening while repeating the basics of communications, the rule we set up before. Yeah, Laurent.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but
Yeah,
it's
and
not only about training, right?
yeah, exactly. You talk about the training, but the thing that I saw many times is like a kind of stereotypes of yeah, adoption. For some companies, not many companies, but for some companies, adoption equal training. It's not the way it has to be thought. As you can see on this slide, many companies or some companies thought about this. We set up the platform and we train our users, and job is done. No, job is
Mm-hmm.
not done actually. Change management is a whole process and with many bricks, and those bricks as did you consider the security and IT governance? Did you consider the vision? Do you have a clarifying goals? Is your leadership involved? Do you have stakeholders and change management teams? Do you have a proper communication and not a communication at first and finish? No, this is a long-term communication and communication. And did you consider the resistance for the change? And do you measure or do you monitor all the user what they are doing inside the platform? And as you can see, all these bricks are very important and they are related. And if you are missing one brick, then the adoption will be more difficult than it would be.
Yeah, so we can say that these bricks, they are just kind of recipe for successful adoption
Exactly,
at the end.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, for me, it's always the security and governance topic very important, but we'll mention about this
Yeah,
later on. But this is something
yeah,
what
yeah,
really
exactly,
matters.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the second thing is that when you start a project, a digital project in companies with Teams or other tools, you have to consider what is going on in end user mind. And we would like to share you some very interesting question based on the ArtCar model. And ArtCar basically is a change management framework with 5 building blocks that helps with the people aspects of change management. And as you can see on this slide, the first block is the awareness. And the awareness will be related to that kind of question from end user. Why this is important? Is it going to stay even after the pandemic? Why we are doing this? What are the benefits and what are the risks of not changing? Those questions are very important, and you have to get answer to this. You have to answer to end users with that question. So that is the first block. If we go to the second block, there's more questions. Do I need to use it fully right now? What's in it for me? Do I have a tool or service that does the same thing? That is important, the double tool, like Yammer versus Teams or Teams versus WhatsApp, or that kind of we'll see that kind of context. What changed for the global communication and collaboration? This is really important. Do I fully understand the tools also? Do I understand, for example, Yammer is what, Teams is for what, Outlook is for what, etc., etc. So this is the second block of AdCard, which is desire. And if you go to the third block, how can I change? What new skills? When can I do it? What deadlines? Who will help me on a daily basis? This is also very important. This is the third block of art cards, which is knowledge. And if we go to the fourth one, is my boss using it? This is also a big mistake. I saw many companies with boss or direction not using Office 365. What is the meaning of this? This is just no sense. Do my colleague use it? Which functional technical support channels can I have? This is the fourth block, the ability. And the last one, if you can go, who can inspire me to go further? Who and where can I find or share new workflows? And this is the last block of ArtCar, which is reinforcement. And as you can see, all of these questions, maybe you have heard this question from end users or maybe from colleagues. This is natural questions, and that's why you have to get answer before starting a change management plan.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great explanation, Laurent, of AdCar. I remember that was amazed when you shared this with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, in ArtCar, basically, this is the model to build the house of adoption, and the ArtCar is not the destination; it is the journey. And you have many things, you have many methods to do this. And as you can see on this slide, this is also the 5 blocks of ArtCar: the awareness, I understand why; the desire, I have decided to; the knowledge, I know how to; the ability, I'm able to; and the reinforcements, I will continue to. And for each block, you have some specific method to work with your end users, like sponsor roadmap, the communication plan, the coaching plan. And if you go further, Edita, yeah, you can go with all the site. For desire, you have also the same thing with resistance management plan, etc., etc. But you have really to understand, and as you can see in this slide, the training plan. Search for the training plan. The training plan is knowledge, but before knowledge, I have to understand and I have to decide. So that's why it's important to know this model.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of steps before and after.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, AdCar is also very close to my heart, but you already perfectly covered the AdCar part. So I can also give you some inspiration what other methods you can use to adjust your team's environment to business needs and also level up the communication. I use design thinking method. Design thinking, this is I'm sure that you heard about design thinking something, at least the term design thinking. Design thinking is a creative way of finding solutions, the solutions which really matter. Those are not artificial solutions that, as you said, boss had something in his mind and then we launch new app or something just because somebody said so. No, the design thinking drives the solutions based on the real needs, and it consists 5 different stages. Empathize, where we try to understand um, personas motivation, who they are, what people they are, what kind of profession they have, and so on. Then together with the group of people, we define the current problems. So what are the current problems? For instance, we are getting too many emails, or our communication has bottlenecks. So we simply list the problems we are facing on daily basis in our at work, and then together we try to find the best solutions, meaning that the group of people is generating different ideas how teams can solve those problems. Maybe we should have a dedicated app or something, uh, any specific integration, and so on. So those are the solutions we can brainstorm together. But obviously after brainstorming we need to prototype those solutions, so really build them up, and at the end test to see if they really cover our needs. But yeah, this is just the nice graphic. However, let me share a few slides, like an outcome from those workshops. One of the workshop I had with the customer, there were issues with onboarding process. Anyhow, they saw different problems, specifically communication problems, and also the other problem was related with different services. So we have to switch the context all the time, and it's not very comfortable to do so on daily basis. And then here we found out that actually we can have onboarding bot, which helps with all of the onboarding activities. And also we can integrate IT services inside Microsoft Teams while using Teams Work Hub. On the other slide, you can see just the mock-up. So that was the project for first-line workers, very specific one, because those people, they have just their mobile phones. And then thanks to Teams, they were able obviously to communicate, collaborate, but they also had an access to all the services available in this organization. And those outcomes, they simply come from the design thinking workshop. Therefore, if you think that you need some inspiration or you need some improvements in your team's environment, that can be the suggestion to start with design thinking method and educate a bit more about its best practice. Okay, but
Yeah, and yeah, we talk about the functional way, and we would like to focus a little bit about the technical way, and for for example, the IT governance, and what are the fundamentals of governance on Teams. And before this session, Jasper did a great session on governance. And as you can see, Jasper mentioned many things that I would like to mention right now. So this is basically the fundamentals. And what you have to do is to really think about the provisioning. The first thing is provisioning. Do you allow user to create teams? Maybe this is not a good answer. So you have to block the creation of groups and block the creation of teams. So this is called the group provisioning. Who can create private channels? Is it open bar? Is it everyone, or do you need to restrict some people to create private channels? That could be a good for when you start Microsoft Teams deployment. The same thing for application. What kind of application do you want to have inside your Teams? What naming policies? The naming policies is important. I saw many things about, for example, sales and marketing teams, and also another teams which is called marketing and sales teams. What's
Right,
what's
right.
what's the purpose of this? So if you want to really focus on this, you have to set up naming policies with specific process to name the teams. Same thing about meeting, same thing about messaging. If you want to control what users are doing inside meetings, what users can do inside messaging, you have to set up this. The same thing for expiration policies. For example, if you set up a team for a project, then the project is over. So what about these teams? Is these teams will stay like a zombie teams, or do you need to set up an expiration policies? That's a good question to have. Same thing about the templates. If you want to set up templates to build the teams, because if you do not set up templates, maybe users will say, okay, we have a general channel, so let's put everything in general channels. Yay! It's not yay. It's a real mess. So you have to really control this. Same thing about the supervised chat, and this is specific for education tenant. I saw many IT from education sector who said, okay, we have one-to-one with students, let's just disable it. No, please do not do this. You have a solution for this. This is supervised chat, which is mainly a way to control what certain members inside a tenant can do with one-on-one chat. So those breaks are really fundamentals, and this is only concerning Teams. Beside Teams, there is many things that you can set up in SharePoint, OneDrive, but as you can see on these slides, yeah, those breaks are fundamentals.
Yeah, I agree. Do you remember, Laurent, when last time we spoke and I shared the
Yeah,
story that one of the
yeah,
customers, they roll out Teams and they haven't thought about governance at all. And somebody just created a team called Leadership. Obviously, it wasn't official team called Leadership, and people from Leadership, they thought that this is official team. They joined and they shared some sensitive data in this team. But yeah, it only shows that communication education plus governments, it's super important to avoid these situations.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, okay, but yeah,
Yeah,
we
and the next one is that what we saw also from our clients is that owners from teams do not delegate member permission. You know, the thing is that many owners think that, okay, for the permission, that's the stuff of the IT. No, do not think like this. Really do not think that this. This is your job. If you are owner of a team, this is your job to set up some permission. So you have to take responsibility. Why I'm saying this is that you have different action, and maybe Edita, you can go just yeah, you have different action that you can set up as a team owner or and as a team's admin. And as you can see, if we go on this slide, for example, the application permission, yes, Teams owners, they can set application permission. This is light, but you can set up very specific for this. If you want with full details, then the admin center can do this. But for example, for the channel moderation, if we go below for the channel moderation, as maybe you can maybe you know this, you can moderate the conversation inside the channels. And that permission is only Teams owners. The admin staff will not be able to set up this for you. So you have to take responsibility for this. And as Edita just to show you with tags, tags also is the same thing. If you see the tags, Teams owners can set up who can create tags. Is it owner? Is it owner and members? But if you want more details, then you have to ask your admin center. So this slide is really important to have in mind as a team member, as a team owner. You have a responsibility to really decide what kind of things, what kind of permission will be able for members.
Mm. All right. Thank you, Laurent. Yeah, the governance topic and ownership topic, it's always tricky topic.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why, yeah, adoption without governance mostly fails. But yeah, we are running out of time. Therefore, we still have 5 minutes. We were brainstorming together what are the best tips and hints we can share with you from our daily life, how to improve communication and your experience with teams. Laurent, would you like to share your tips first?
Yeah, if you can go back to the demo, I will just show you some tips.
Mhm.
Okay, the first tips I would like to show you is obviously about communication. And for example, for a team, let's say the Mark 8 project teams. I'm a new member, I'm a new employee, and somebody said, okay, you will go to Mark 8 project teams. So what is Mark 8 project team? What is
Mm.
about? And the first thing that you have to set up is the description of this team. And to set up description, actually, when you click on general and when you click on the eye on the top right, and members can do this, you have some information, the about section. This team was created to work. This is important. And you can set up the description for the team, and you can set up the description also for the channel. So it's important to describe, okay, this channel is about what? For example, the go-to-market plan. This is the same thing. The about section will tell you some more about this. And the second tip I would like to show you, you can see it on the screen, is okay. If you go back, yeah, you can see it on the screen. Is a post to tell everyone how to write a post in Teams. This is a good things to add, and you can pin this post to really focus on this. And you just tell users some new simple direction, a new topic, subject, important information, announcement, mention, be aware, a file, etc., etc. So those tips are very basic, but you have to really think about this.
Right, and it's also great when you are creating a team. And this is what I'm doing quite often. I create a team. I prepare the team, adding the channels if necessary, adding the post, and then inviting people. When they join, they simply know what to find where and what's the rule of game in this team. Mm. All right, and the tips from my side, obviously, pin the channels and chats. This is something what I do all the time. Thanks to that, every time when I go to Teams, I know which are the most important conversations, most important chats. And what I advise when we create a new team, let's say for marketing or for sales or for any specific project, it's good to have a dedicated channel for meetings. First of all, people can join easily to this meeting. Secondly, when we have any recordings, any ongoing conversations, everything stays in a one channel. So it's easy to go back to the previous communication, but also it's easy to check all the notes we had inside and so on. So this is my advice. Okay, this is it.
Yeah,
Laurent.
yeah. This was very short, but I think the we gave you some many inspirational ideas.
So thank you so much. Merci and dziękuję.